Today we will discuss some important points on nomenclature of hydrocarbons. Nomenclature of hydrocarbons. So in this, first we have to see the functional groups. Before going to give name to the hydrocarbons, we have to learn the functional groups. So what are all the functional groups? What does it mean? That we have to learn. So a functional group means a group of atoms. Group of atoms. That means group of atoms means, example I will give, CO group, CHO group, COOH group. These are all the functional groups. Okay. A group of atoms are heteroatoms. Heteroatoms. Heteroatoms means what? That means chlorine or bromine. These are all the heteroatoms. Replacing one or more hydrocarbons. One or more hydrocarbon atoms. That means, suppose if you take propane, that means C. This is the example I have taken. If you remove this one hydrogen and replace by chlorine, or remove other hydrogen atoms by replacing chlorine, this is the meaning. One or more hydrocarbon atoms such that the valency of carbon atom remains satisfied. Called functional group. Now one by one we will see. Heteroatom we will see. In this, chlorine or bromine. So whenever you see the functional group, you have to put one dash mark in front of heteroatom. Okay. So this is the heteroatom. If you see in the hydrocarbons, what we have to do, nomenclature, how we have to do, or see, functional group is here, functional group is chlorine or bromine. Okay. How we have to put this name, either in front of the hydrocarbons or after hydrocarbons? What we have to do? That is important. So that is called prefix. This you have to prefix it. Okay. Suppose I will give example. For this I will give one example. You take same propane. One hydrogen is replaced by chlorine. So here what you have to do, chlorine you have to prefix it. This is propane. That means chloropropane. Like that you have to give name. This is chloropropane. So like this you have to give name to hydrocarbons. Suppose I got one more heteroatom. The groups you can see, one is aldehyde alcohol group, second one is aldehyde group, and third one is ketone group. So functional group is, in this functional group is OH. So for aldehyde the functional group is CHO. For ketone it is CO. So in place of this you have to learn how to write the structure of alcohol, aldehyde and ketone. Alcohol no problem, one single dash OH, but aldehyde you have to write like this. This is the structure of aldehyde. Ketone you have to write carbon, double bond O, single bond, single bond. This is the structure. And one more is there, that is carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid. This we have to write COOH. Structure is dash C double bond O OH. This is the structure of carboxylic acid. These are all the very important. And if you take science stream in the coming studies, you will see, you will get a lot of questions on this. Hydrocarbon chapter is a very important chapter. Then you have to learn all these groups. Very important. Suppose if you got chlorine, so you have to prefix it. That means I have given example, that is chloropropane. Suppose if you got OH groups, that means alcohol group, so that you have to suffix it. This you have to suffix it. And suppose you got aldehyde group, so again you have to suffix it. Suppose if you are having ketone, you have to suffix it. Suppose if you are having carboxylic acid group, that is also suffix. One thing you remember, whenever the alcohol, aldehyde, ketone and carboxylic acid you are seen in the hydrocarbons, these functional groups, suppose if you see chlorine, bromine or halogens, you have to prefix that. That means before hydrocarbon name you have to write before the hydrocarbon. This is very important. You may get questions on this. Lot of questions you will get. Okay, example we will discuss. See, I am having a propane, C. One hydrogen is replaced by OH. Okay. So this is actually propane. So what we have to do? We have to suffix it. That means this is, and one more thing, this OH group end you are writing na, suffix you are giving na, you have to give OL. End you have to give OL. And suppose if you got aldehyde group, you have to give end AL. Suppose if you got ketone, that means end you have to give ONE. ONE. Suppose if you get carboxylic acid, you have to give oleic acid. Oleic acid. Like this, you have to give suffix. Suppose if you got, the example we will see. See, this is the one hydrocarbon having OH group. This what we have to do? This is actually propane. Okay. And it is, now we have to propane. First you write propane. Propane. This E you have to remove. In this you have to give OL. Propanol. Like this you have to write. Suppose if you are having aldehyde group, same thing. Here you got CHO group. We will write C double bond O. So this you have to name it as AL. You have to give propanol. Okay. Suppose if you are having ketone group, C. Here you see it is very important. Center you have to write ketone group. This is very important. Say, ketone always it will come in between carbon atoms. That is very important. Okay. So this what you have to do. This is O you have to put. That means propanone. Okay. Now carboxylic acid we will see. See, this is no problem. Carbon. So last you have to OH and double bond O. See, these are all the functional groups. And here it is functional group. And here it is functional group. Okay. Here it is functional group. Here it is chlorine is the functional group. Here OH is the functional group. Here CHO is the functional group. Here CO is the functional group. Here COOH is the functional group. Here what? How we will write the name of this hydrocarbon? So this is same propane. E is there now. There you have to put oleic acid. So like this you have to give names. Okay. Nomenclature of hydrocarbon. Nomenclature of hydrocarbon. I will take one example. Same propane I will take. So this is the propane I have taken. So how we will give name to this? So what you have to do? Some points you have to follow before giving nomenclature name to the hydrocarbons. Count the number of carbon atoms present in the hydrocarbon. So what we have to do? Count the number of carbon atoms. Carbon atoms present in the hydrocarbon. Okay. Now this is the example you take. See 1, 2, Total 3 carbons are there. That is the meaning. Okay. First point, this we have to follow. Now, second point is, in case of functional group is present. Functional group is present in the compound. In the compound, you have to either prefix it or suffix it. So you have to prefix or suffix the functional group. Whether it is hetero, or group of functional group, whether it is a group. Discuss See, one example we will take. Example, see, I have taken ketone. See, ketone group is present in this carbon atom. How we have to give name to it? So that is important, because ketone is there, we have to put name in the last. Okay. So that means it is a propanone. 3 carbons are there. So we have to name it as a propanone. Propane. E replace ONE. Propanone. Like this we have to give name. It is very, very important. You may get questions on this. Now we will discuss homologous series. See, we know that all alkanes, that is methane, and C2H6 ethane, propane C3H8, and butane C4H10. These are all the important compounds of alkanes, we know. See, now what we have to discuss? Homologous series. So what is the meaning of that? That we will see now. Homologous series means this is very, very important. You may get questions on this homologous series. So in this, a series of compounds in which the same functional group is satisfied by replacing hydrogen in a carbon chain. Is called homologous series. Now I will give a clear-cut explanation. We know that methane, ethane, C2H6 and propane C3H8 and butane C4H10. Structure we will see. Structure. This is the structure. See here. This is the structure of ethane. And this one. This is the structure of propane. And this is the structure of butane. Structure of butane. Now what is the meaning? Here you see a series of compounds in which, this is the series of compounds in which the same functional group is satisfied by replacing hydrogen in a carbon chain. This is the carbon chain. One is replaced with, here you see, same functional group. That means these hydrogen atoms are replaced by, suppose I am telling OH. Their chemical properties are same. Their chemical properties are same. That's why they are called it as a homologous series. This is very important point. They may ask in the examination. Okay.